Working tonight, Luke? Well, it's a very, very warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to Aquatic Ballpark. We are televising the first of our Women's League games here this season. Unfortunately, we couldn't get on air last Friday night, but we are here tonight as your Manly Eagles take on the Penrith Jaguars. It's round 3 of the New South Wales Women's League. And as you saw just in the top of the first inning, Penrith have capitalised on a couple of Manly Eagles walks, and they have an early 4-0 lead here as we head to the bottom of the first inning. And we'll bring you the lineups first with the visitors. And leading things off, it is going to be was Sarah DeBono. She was the first out of this game. Casey Adams is at shortstop. Jodie Newton, you can see in the background, warming up. She's the starting pitcher for the Penrith Panthers. Alice Smith is at third base. Crystal Alexander doing the catching. Carla Mirabito in right field. Kirsten Chung in left field. Kate Moon at first. And Tracy Smith is at centre field. And the Manly Eagles lineup, starting at third base and leading off, as you will about see her, is Indiana Brown. She's at third base. Olivia Baker is at shortstop. Serena DeGale at first base. Millie Atkinson doing the catching. Kiara DeGale, the starting pitcher for the Eagles. Hayley Gledhill in right field. Lenny Ward in left field. Amy Shepherd in centre field. And Emily Thornton at second base. Those are your two lineups this evening. Home plate umpire for today is Simon Loud, as Indiana Brown looks to get things started. Her Manly Eagles behind 4-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. And that is a strike to get things started. So Indiana Brown behind, no balls and one strike. A pitch down for ball one, getting past the glove of the catcher. One ball and a strike now for Indiana Brown. A pitch also just missing for ball two, so 2 balls and 1 strike. Two pitch is high, so Indiana Brown fills up the count. Good at bat by the Manly leadoff. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And a big rip by Indiana down the left field line, but it is foul. So the counter remain 3-2. Jodie Newton misses up, so it's ball 4. It's a lead-off walk for Indiana Brown. And Manly will have their first runner on base this evening. Olivia Clark now stepping into the box for the Eagles. And she will take the first pitch from Jodie Newton up for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Down and away for ball 2. 2-0 now. And that one taking the corner for strike one. 2 balls and a strike. As Indiana Brown takes second base on the swing and miss by Olivia Clark. So she evens the count at 2-2. And Olivia Clark down on strike. So the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. Indiana Brown still standing at second. So Serenity Gale takes ball one. And that pitch on the outside corner for strike one. 1 ball and a strike. It's been a slow start for the Eagles this year so far. No wins and 2 losses in the first 2 rounds of the season. They haven't been far off from securing their first win. And Michael O'Neill has full confidence in these girls to find their first win. Hopefully they can do it here tonight. Their first live game on Eagles Baseball Sports Network. Pitch up and behind the head of Serenity Gale, so she's drawn the count to 3-1. Penrith Jaguars with a win and a loss so far to their name. They had a 9-0 win against the Greenway Giants. That looks like there might have been a breach there by the Greenway club in round 1. Sorry, that would have been round 2. And they were losers in the first round against the new kids on the block, the West Sydney Boomers, going down 10-4 in that one. So 1 win and 1 loss. And that's a big rip by Serena de Gale. It's going to go very close to that left field fence. It's the left fielder chasing after it. Serena Gale's running towards second base. She's going to be in there with a stand-up double and RBI with Indiana Brown crossing the plate. And the Manly Eagles women's are on the board here with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Nice rip there by de Gale. Gets her team on the board. And with only 1 out, that's exactly the start that Coach Michael O'Neill would have wanted. Millie Atkinson now, the Manly catcher, stepping in, and she swings and misses at strike 1. And she pulls that one over the head of third base. Serena Gale just moves up the 90 feet. And Millie Atkinson puts runners on the corners. As the Manly bats start to find a little bit of tune here in the first inning. New vantage point for EBSN tonight, calling the game from the top of the clubhouse balcony. Nice little crowd of about 40 or 50 in tonight. We had the Senior League, Manly local Senior League game on earlier. A bunch of those families and parents have hung around to watch the start of this one. Creates a good little bit of atmosphere for our Manly Eagles second grade women's league team. And that ball is in for ball one. Check over at third. Millie Atkinson just moving up to second base on the defensive indifference. No throw to second. 2 balls and no strikes. And it's Kiara DeGale now doing the batting. A couple of runners in scoring position for her. Her sister Serena, already with a double to her name. She stands at third. And it's Millie Atkinson over there at second base, looking to bring this margin back to 1. And that ball hits softly to the pitcher. And Serena is going to be thrown out at home. Probably a bit of a base running there from Serena DeGale. She's the second out here in the bottom of the first. Not really what you want to be doing, trailing by 3 in the first inning. Ali Gledhill steps in. I expect Kiara DeGale to take second base on the first pitch here. Quick check over at first, keeping her close. Millie Atkinson at third. And Kiara does go on first pitch, so 2 more runners in scoring position again for the Eagles, this time with 2 out though. Sally Gledhill takes ball 1. And that ball's popped high into the night and caught by Jodie Newton, the pitcher. And that will finish the first inning. So a couple of chances for the Eagles not taken advantage of. And Penrith Jaguars lead 4-1 after the first. So it's an early pitching change for manager Mike O'Neill. He's gone to his shortstop in Olivia Clark. And Kiara Degar will perform the straight swap, and she will move over to the shortstop position. So a few new faces for this Manly Eagles team. And a few returning players from last year, Olivia Clark being one of them, and Millie Atkinson also back for her second year with the Manly Eagles Women's League second grade side. And that is 2 quick strikes for Olivia Clark, firing it in there, just like what we like to see. And that pitch is in for strike 3, so it's a strikeout here. First out of this second inning. And that pitch is pulled through the hole in left field. It's going to be the first base hit for the Penrith side. So a couple of runs, a lot of those scored on the walks, and also a fielding error from the Manly defence. And that's the first hit of the game. So 1 out and 1 on. And another swing and a miss there for Olivia Clark to get this at-bat started. No balls and a strike. And the pitch missing up. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner takes off to second, but there won't be a throw. That ball's in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good block there by the catcher Atkinson. Simon Lau's just going to remind Olivia Clark that she needs to come to a set with that runner on base. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike. It must have been 2 and 1. It's now 3 and 1. And that pitch is now in for ball 4. And in there for strike 1. So just the way you want to start the batter. First pitch strike, get ahead early. Try and end this threat before it starts. It's in there for strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now for Olivia Clark. Ahead in this count, looking for strike 3. Get her team 1 out closer to another at bat. That ball just missing down for ball 2, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's on the outside corner, so really working that outside corner. That's 2 strikeouts now for Olivia Clark, which has really helped the Manly defence here. And that pitch in for strike 1. So Olivia Clark looks like she's locked in here. 2 out, top of the second. Runners in second and third for the Penrith Jaguars side. She's looking to keep that way, but that ball is ripped into left field. It's going to be a long run for the left fielder, Lenny Ward. She's thrown away the hat and she's running all the way to the fence. And it's a 2-run double to Crystal Alexander, the catcher for the Panthers, and they do skip out with another couple of runs. It's now 6-1 in favour of the Jaguars. Nice bit of hitting there by the Penrith catcher. So Cullen Mirabita, the right fielder. She's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. That ball is going to be fouled off, but getting out of play. So 2 balls and a strike. Another pitch fouled off by Mirabito. Extending her at bat, trying to hang in there, looking for another hit to score another run for the visitors. The ball just squirting away from Atkinson, the catcher. Does allow Alexander to move up to third, but she's already going on the pitch. Should be credited as a stolen base. Big out here. 3 balls and 1 strike. And that does miss for ball 4, so it does put another Panthers runner on. Runners on the corners now for the Jaguars. Sorry, not the Panthers. You think Penrith, you think Panthers. Big game for them coming up on Sunday, the Penrith Panthers, the original Penrith Panthers. But for tonight, it's the Penrith Jaguars. And Olivia Clark makes the 3rd out of this inning. So a couple of runs on that big piece by the catcher, Crystal Alexander, for the Panthers. The Jaguars. So they skip out to a 6-1 lead with Manly coming to bat in the bottom of the inning with Lenny Ward to lead things off, followed by Amy Shepherd and Emily Thornton. So Lenny Ward to lead things off in the bottom of the second inning, and she swings and misses at that pitch from Jodie Newton for strike one. And pitches in for strike three, correction. So we did miss the first pitch of the inning, and Lenny Ward goes down on strikes, 3 straight strikes from Jodie Newton, and that's the first away here. In the bottom of the second, now it's going to be the centre fielder, Amy Shepherd. And she swings and misses at strike one. So Jodie Newton finding the strike zone with regularity here for the Penrith Jaguars, making the Manly Eagles girls swing and miss. And there is another one, so no balls and 2 strikes for Amy Shepherd. And away for ball one. So the State League on tomorrow. The Eagles coming off the bye last week. Under 18s travel to Borkham Hills for the 2 o'clock game tomorrow afternoon. And the Sunday action getting underway with 3rd grade at 9:30, 2nd grade at midday, and 1st grade at 2:30. And Lenny Ward takes that, sorry, not Lenny Ward, that's Amy Shepherd, takes that pitch up and away for ball 2, even in the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Eagles, 1st grade, had their first win of the season, knocking off the previously undefeated Borkham Hills side on Wednesday night out at Blacktown International Sports Park, 10 runs to 6. As a ball 3 is fired in there. And in for strike 3, a good pitch by Jodie Newton. Nice little curve on that, dropping in. So second out, couple of quick outs for the Penrith Jaguars. And they turn to the 9-hole hitter for the Eagles in the way of Emily Thornton. Try and turn the lineup over for the Eagles and extend this second inning. She swings and misses for strike 1. Shohei Ariyama was very strong through his 4 innings of work. He struck out 7 on the day. And then it was the bullpen that got the work done the rest of the way. James Miller. Connor McDonald with his first appearance on the mound in Manly Eagles colours. And Zach McAllister closed it out of the death. Escaped a bases loaded jam in the bottom of the last and consolidated Manly's first win of the season, 10-6. 10 strikeouts in total for the Manly pitchers and 10 walks in total for the Manly offense. So things really coming into play there. And that is strike 3. So that will finish the second inning. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Jodie Newton. And we're going to head into top of the third very shortly. it's Kirsten Chung to lead things off here in the top of the third inning. And she takes the first pitch of strike one. And back to the pitcher, Olivia Clark. And she tosses over to Serena Gale at first base. And that's the first out here in the top of the third. So the Eagles pitchers seem to get first batter of the inning out. It's after that gets them into a little trouble. So we'll see what Olivia Clark can conjure up here. It's going to be the first base, Kate Moon. Let's get the right camera angle on. There we go. And that first pitch from Olivia Clark is in for ball one. We're in the top of the third here in this New South Wales Women's League second grade game between the Manly Eagles and the Penrith Jaguars. And that's Kate Moon taking ball two. So 2-1 now. With Olivia Clark firing in that strike. And that pitch pulled down the third base line and through Kiara DeGale at third base. And it's going to be a single for Kate Moon. And the Jaguars have a runner on with one out. So Sarah De Bono now bats here for the Jaguars with one out. She's the number one hitter, the top of the lineup for the Panthers. So the Panthers about to enter their third time through the lineup. And then with a little bit of work to do there to get into their third time in the lineup. And that's another strikeout for Olivia Clark. So coming on here and really commanding the strike zone. She has two outs here. First time. So two outs without more than one base runner for the Eagles. As Kate Moon. And that ball just falling over the head of Kiara DeGale at shortstop. So two out. And there'll be runners on at first and second base. So now's the pitch up for the Panthers, Jodie Newton. Really causing all sorts of problems for the Manly offense today as that ball gets away to the fence. A long run for the young Manly catcher. And it's going to easily allow the Jaguars to move up 90 feet to second and third. And Jodie Newton now will bat with two runners in scoring position. But there is two outs. That ball away and in the dirt. And again, getting away from young Millie Atkinson. So it will be a run on a wild pitch. Olivia Clark just a little bit angry with herself. Just falling a little bit short with that pitch. Getting into the dirt and getting away from Millie. That's another run to the score. And it's going to be hard hit down the line. It's going to be in fair territory, so it's going to mean another run. And Jodie Newton is going to go all the way around first and up into second base with a double. It's going to extend the Penrith lead out to 8-1 now. Really getting into danger territory for the Manly side. We'll see if they can rein it back. Alice Smith now, the third base. Takes ball one. And the DeGale sisters combine there to get the third out of the inning. So a couple of runs for the Panthers. As we head to the bottom of the third, it's the Jaguars 8, the Eagles 1. So it's back to the top of the lineup for the Manly Eagles women's here. Big job ahead of them, trailing 7-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. And it's going to be their third base, Indiana Brown, to get things started. She drew a walk in her first at-bat, in her first plate appearance. She'll be looking to do something similar. Start steering her team to some more runs here. And Jodie Newton starts with the ball a little bit high from umpire Simon Loud. And that one in for ball two, so good start in this at bat for Indiana Brown. And a 3-0 count now for Indiana, showing very good patience at the plate. The Manly Ringer minor league season got underway last weekend, and there were some big wins, some big comebacks, and some new teams getting their first taste of Manly summer ball. Indiana pulls that ball on the ground into left field. A good at bat, 3-0 pitch. Some people would expect you to leave that one, but Indiana turned on it, poured it into left field. And if you're going to throw a 3-0 pitch down the middle, it's not automatically going to be called a strike, and Indiana capitalises with a single there to get things started. Her team down 8-1 in the bottom of the third. And that pitch to Olivia Clark in for ball 1. So in minor league action last week, second grade, we had the Forest Padres defeat the Mossman Blue Whales 16-6. As Indiana steals second base. That pitch, I believe, was the ball. Find out in a second from umpire Simon Loud. Pittwater Tiburones defeated the Seaside Sabres 23-6. Bit of investigation into the actual strength of the Tiburones currently being undertaken, so stay tuned for more on that. Seasiders Eagles avenged their grand final loss to the Redbacks, Ringer Redbacks second side. Ringer Redbacks went last year's second division as Olivia Clark pulls that one into left field, so the Manly Bats coming up with the hits here so far in the bottom of the third inning. And Olivia Clark is aboard with an RBI single into left field. And it's another run on the scoreboard for the Eagles. They're second of the night, but they still trail 8-2. Yes, it was the Redbacks who won second division, second grade last year in the Manly Summer League. They won it undefeated, and this year they did lose their first game 5-1 to the Seasiders Eagles. It was the Eagles they took on in the grand final. So a good start for the runners-up from last year. And in the All Forest affair, it was the Grizzlies 14 over the Wizards 1. And that pitch is in for strike 1. It's Serena DeGale now at bat. Of course, had the RBI double in the bottom of the first, which was Manly's first run of the game, and actually was the first hit of the game. So I stand corrected from my earlier comment. Serena DeGale had the first hit of the game, double into left field. And then in first grade last week in the Manly Summer League, the Forest Renegades, last year's champions, they defeated the Pittwater Marlins, who were champions 2 seasons ago, so a battle of the championship winning teams. They won 11-2. As that pitch is in for ball 1 ball and a strike. The Forest Mets took on the Manly Futures. The Manly Futures made up of the younger age under 18 kids that don't quite make the state league side, but maybe in the running for it next year, and any other guys that aren't considered for state league selection during the round. As that ball by Serena is lifted into the air, unable to be handled by the second base out there. Makes a good recovery play, chases after it, but just can't get the throw back into second base in time to get the out on the holding Olivia Clark. Good bit of base running there by the Manly pitcher, making sure that ball fell to the ground before she advanced to second base, and it's a 2-for-2 night here for Serena DeGale. That hit a little bit different from her first one, but they all count, and it is still none out here in the bottom of the third. And it will bring up the catcher for the Eagles, Millie Atkinson. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't the Futures Day. They went down 6-1 against the Forest Mets. Forest Mets have recruited well in the off-season, so we'll see what 2020-2021 summer brings for them. And that is another ball laced into left field, this time off the bat of Millie Atkinson. It's going to score Olivia Clark, rounding third base. She's going to come in and score Manly's third run of the game. Serena DeGale holds up at second base, and it's an RBI single for Millie Atkinson. So 4 straight hits for the Eagles. And it's got them cutting into this lead. It's now 8-4 to the visitors, the Penrith Jaguars. And we are going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Hannah Vaughan. She's going to bat for Kiara DeGale, who is going to come out of this game. Her night is done. And Hannah Vaughan will get her first action here this evening. And then in the afternoon game at Aquatic on Saturday, it was the big dogs, the perennial finalists, against the Redbacks, who are always in the hunt come the business end of the season. And that game ended in a 13-all draw. Big Dogs trailed 10-2 after the second inning, but their power bats got them back into the game. They just couldn't hold on for the win. Had the lead going into the second last inning. And the Redbacks were able to tie the game up on a wild pitch. And with runners on in the last, the Redbacks weren't able to capitalise, and that game did finish deadlocked at 13 apiece. So the teams will be back in action tomorrow. We'll bring you the schedule. In the second grade, we've got the Redbacks second grade against the Seaside Sabres down at Rat Park. Mossman Blue Whales will play the Forest Grizzlies on Aquatic 3. They'll be followed by the Forest Wizards and Pittwater Tiburones. And that pitch is down and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Seasiders Eagles will take on the Forest Padres. That game will be on Diamond 2 at 4 o'clock. And then in the first grade, Pittwater Marlins will take on the Redbacks. That game also down at Rat Park, following on from the second grade game. It'll be an all-Forest affair on Diamond 2 at 1:30. Forest Mets taking on the Forest Renegades in the Battle of the Forest in first grade. We had the Battle of the Forest last week in second grade. This week it'll be the first graders to battle things out. As Hannah Vaughan takes that away for ball 2, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still batting here with nobody out in the bottom of the third inning. Serena DeGale standing at second base. Millie Atkinson with an RBI single to her name. She's at first. And then in the game of the day at 4 o'clock on Aquatic 1, it'll be the Manly Futures taking on the Warringah Big Dogs. And that's in for strike 3. Will be a called strike. Simon Loud pulls the trigger, and that's the first out in the bottom of the third inning here. And Vaughan unable to advance the runners an extra 90 feet. So a big day of action up here tomorrow. Of course, the juniors are on in the morning. And then a big day of Summer League action to follow in the afternoon. Hayley Gledhill now steps in for the Eagles. Starting tonight's game in right field. She bats with 2 on and only 1 out in this 8-4 ball game. And swings and misses at that one. It's a little bit uneasy on her feet there. And gets onto that one, but just pushes it foul up the right side. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now for Hayley Gledhill. Manly already scoring 3 so far in this inning. Would love another 4 if they could try and tie it up. Olivia Clark has been very effective on the mound. They're giving up a couple of runs. That pitch down and away for ball 2, even if you count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jodie Newton just shaking the arm out, trying to get a bit more life out of it. Long way to go in this one. Checks the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Serena DeGale at second. Millie Atkinson at first. Both taking their leads. And that pitch is popped up. But not far enough. Glenhill quickly out of the box. Did enough to stay in front of the catcher without getting in the way. And that ball wasn't able to be caught. And the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch hit hard through the right side, through the hole. So it could score Serena DeGale from third. It does. It's Michael O'Neill giving the wave. Serena scores. Atkinson moves up to second. And Hayley Gledhill has an RBI single. And Manly keep chipping away at this deficit. They now trail 8-5 against the Jaguars. And I'll bring up Lenny Ward, her second at bat of the evening. Swings and misses at strike 1. Good hefty cut at that one. Not far off it. And swings and fouls that one off. Bit of a protection swing there, so 0-2. And that is going to be fouled off. Just clipping the hand of Simon Loud on the way through. So good protection swing there by Lenny Ward. Doesn't want to become the second out here with runners on base. Big opportunity to extend this inning and try and get back to the top of the lineup. Pitch down and away, so good take there by Lenny Ward. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Of course, these women's league games are 2-hour timed games. No new inning after 1 hour and 50 minutes. And we are sitting on 1 hour and 23 minutes so far, so still about half an hour or so left of this one. That pitch up for ball 2, so good eyes and good patience by Lenny Ward. Didn't get too over enthusiastic with that ball high out of the zone. Was able to even the count at 2-2. That's in for ball 3, so fighting all the way back from 0-2. And 0-2 with a foul off to now 3-2. And Lenny Ward will be hoping she can either load the bases or put something in play and score Millie Atkinson from second and even move Hayley Gledhill over to third. That's in for strike 3, so it's a swing and miss, unfortunately for Lenny Ward. She'll become the second out of the inning. And it's going to bring up the centre fielder, Amy Shepherd. Swing and miss, but it will get away from the catcher. And the Eagles runners will move up an extra 90 feet. Atkinson now at third, Gledhill standing up at second. It was a swing and a miss from Amy Shepherd, so she's behind. No balls and 1 strike. Check over at third. Atkinson not too far away from the base. Jodie Newton just trying to keep her as close as possible. That pitch is just high for ball 1. So 1 and 1. And a good take from Amy Shepherd, leaving that ball down in the dirt. So getting ahead in this count, 2 balls and 1 strike. No pitch in for strike 2. So Jodie Newton fighting back in this one. She's looking for a big third out here. Big pitch coming for both of these players. Jodie Newton looking to finish it off. Amy Shepherd looking to extend things. And it will be a foul ball over the screen into the fans in front of me here up on the balcony. And Amy Shepherd will get another chance to see another pitch. So another 2-2 coming from Jodie Newton. Big check over at third base first. Almost got away from the third base. Knocked down just in time. And it's big rip, but that's going to get foul. So really hanging in there is Amy Shepherd. Good swing on that one. Would have scored both the runners for the Eagles and made it a 1-run ball game, but not just, it was pretty foul. It was a good swing on it. So another 2-2. He's outside for ball 3, so works the count full. Good patient at bat by Amy Shepherd. She's put herself in a very good position. Jodie Newton now really needs to find the zone on this one. Or at least get some sort of weak contact to get her team out of this and back into the batter's box. And that's in for ball 4. So really good bat there by Amy Shepherd. Draws the walk. Will load the bases for the Manly Eagles. And Michael O'Neill is going to go to his bench. I believe it's going to be Hannah Griffiths that's going to come and pinch hit for Emily Thornton. Yes, it is Amy Griffiths. So it is Amy Griffiths. She's going to swing from the left side of the plate. She has a big job to do. The former North Sydney Bears Women's League winger. She takes ball 1. A good start to her first at bat. Big pinch hit opportunity to her. Millie Atkinson still at third. Hayley Gledhill roaming around over there at second base, itching to score. And Amy Shepherd with a nice sizable lead at first. Big hack at that one by Griffiths. But that could have gone a long way with contact. So showing plenty of intent at the plate is Hannah Griffiths. She's primed for a big hit here. That pitch is away for ball 2, so 2 balls and a strike. got Indiana Brown waiting on deck. She led off the inning for the Eagles, scored the second run of the game for the Eagles. First run of this inning, and will more than love another opportunity. A pitch in there, that's going to bring runs. That ball's hit into the gap in left centre field. Griffiths turns around first. She's going to be going all the way to third. Michael O'Neill's going to wave around Amy Shepherd from third base. We're going to have a one-run ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good piece of hitting. It's a good decision by Coach Michael O'Neill. And with a man of his experience, I'm not surprised. He's gone to his bench, and Hannah Griffiths holds up at second with a bases clearing double. And it will bring the Eagles all the way back into this one, and that is a 7-run inning. And the Eagles have tied it up here in the top of the fourth. I don't think they realise how many runs they've scored yet. I definitely have 7. We'll wait and see. So it's back to the top of the lineup. And it's Indiana Brown will bat for the second time in this inning. And that pitch is in there for strike 1. Simon Loud calling it down in that little pocket down there. It's been very consistent, both down in the pocket and up and away. We just had a friendly little dog bump our home plate cam, but it's now been fixed. As Indiana Brown takes ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. So big inning here for the Eagles. They've come all the way back. They've erased that 8-1 deficit, and they're now in a tie ball game in the bottom of the third. And that pitch by Brown is lifted high into the air and just out of the reach of the catcher. Good effort shown there by Alexander. Just can't get the glove to it. And Indiana Brown will have another chance to score the go-ahead run in the form of Hannah Griffith standing out there all alone at second base. She is the go-ahead run for the Manly Eagles. That ball is down and away, and it will allow Hannah Griffiths to move up to third base, so 90 feet closer. And it is now a full count for Indiana Brown. So it will be a walk for Indiana Brown. And the Eagles will have runners on the corners again. In this tie ball game, Michael O'Neill just laying down. He's going to want Indiana to take off, and that's lifted foul into the crowd. Screams of heads ring through the ballpark. Don't think manager Mike O'Neill wanted that from Olivia Clark, but sometimes a pitch is just too good to leave. And with Indiana Brown running with 2 out, it wouldn't have been that big a deal. Although Mike O'Neill, I'm sure, wants Indiana at second base. Lays down the signals again. This time it is Indiana Brown moving up to second, but it is a swing and miss from Olivia Clark. She's now behind 0-2, but now does have 2 big insurance runs in play at second and third. The 0-2 pitch from Newton is up for ball 1. So good take by Olivia Clark there. Again, not wanting to get over eager. Some players may have chased that, but Olivia holds fast and leaves it alone. Find something a little bit juicy. I like that one. Is hit on the ground to the shortstop. Bounces off a glove. She has troubles picking it up. And she will get the throw across the diamond for the third out of the inning. So good play by the shortstop. Had a couple of bobbles of it, but is able to keep it controlled and makes a good throw again across the diamond. But the Eagles have come all the way back. It's now an 8-8 ball game after 3 innings. We'll be back with the top of the 4th very shortly. So defensive changes for the Eagles. Hannah Griffiths is now in left field after pinch hitting with that big bases clearing double. Hannah Vaughan is at third base. And we're just trying to work out what the other change is, as Eva Indica Putri is now at shortstop. Might be Indiana Brown out of the game. More than likely. Indiana Brown out of the game. Beginning here for Olivia Clark and the Manly defense. Really need to consolidate those runs they just got back. And in a bit of trouble already. 3 balls and no strikes. That'll be ball 4. It's a lead-off walk for the catcher, Crystal Alexandra. Probably not a bad thing for the Manly defence, given the way she hit the ball in her last at bat. And that's going to be Carla Mirabito. Olivia Clark firing that first pitch in for strike one. So Olivia Mirabito down 0-1. Sorry. Carla Mirabito. As Chris Alexander moves up to second base on the steal. She represents the go-ahead run. So this could well be our last inning here. As time does tick away, we're at 10 past 9. No new inning after 20 past 9, so we're 9 minutes away from that cutoff. And we still have 6 outs to go in this 4th inning. So 3-1 now for Mirabito. Olivia Clark has done a lot of work out there, and that's going to be ball 4 and a wild pitch, allowing Alexander to move up to first. She's done an exceptional job. Looks like she's going to be done. Michael O'Neill's going to come to the mound and make a change. Maybe just have a chat first off before he makes the change. Coach and pitcher just having a chat as Mike was... No, he does take the ball, so it's a very good, very strong effort by Olivia Clark. Really stemmed the flow of runs. And the ball gets thrown to... Indiana Brown. So Indiana Brown's moved from 3rd to 2nd. Not out of the game as yet. And of course it was Emily Thornton that came out of the game earlier. So Eva and the Kachuri will be in for Lenny Ward. Hannah Griffiths pinch hitting for Emily Thornton. As Indiana Brown warms up, looking to get out of this inning with the scores tied at 8 or we'll be back once Indiana finishes with her warm-ups. Alright, Indiana is warmed up and ready to go. She's got a bit of a task ahead of her here. She got runners on 1st and 3rd with nobody out. Manly can't afford to give up a run. Although the way they were hitting the ball in the last inning, maybe they might have one up their sleeve. And Indiana Brown starts with a strike. Just what you want to see from your relief pitcher. And it's Kirsten Chung, no balls and 1 strike. Down and away for ball 1, so just missing there. 1 ball and a strike now for the left fielder for the Jaguars. In for strike 2, so a good comeback pitch there by Brown. And she's working very nicely so far. Misses just inside. 2 and 2. Looking for the punch out here on this pitch. Gets the swing. So 2 balls and 2 strikes turns into a strikeout, and that's going to be the first out here. In the top of the 4th. Just what the doctor ordered. Just what skipper Michael O'Neill wanted from Indiana Brown. Gets the swing and miss. And that is going to be defensive indifference. Millie Atkinson not chasing that runner there. That's 1 ball and no strikes for Kate Moon. A little bit of a check swing drag. So it's going to be enough to score a run, and it's going to be enough to bring the fielders away from their base. So good little check swing drag down to Hannah Vaughan at third base. She did well to pick it up, make a throw across the diamond, but not in time, and it's going to be a single to Kate Moon. Penrith are going to retake the lead, and they will once again have runners on first and third. And it will remain 1 out. Just misses inside for ball 1. It's Tracy Smith, the centre fielder. As Kate Moon takes off, it's going to be popped up, but foul and out of play. So Kate Moon not in any trouble there, going on the pitch. Big second out needed here by the Eagles with that important Jaguars insurance run standing over at third base. Don't want to allow her to score, and that is going to be swung on and fouled off. So just enough on that. The ball does get away from Atkinson, so definitely working in the favour of the Eagles there. I would have wanted it to be strike 3, but not if it's going to get away from Atkinson. Because that run up from third definitely would have scored, and Kate Moon would have moved up to second base. And Kate Moon does take it, but it's a little shot hit to Eva there at second, just not able to glove it. So Kate Moon still second base, and it's a little check swing from Tracy Smith, but it's enough to get aboard, and it will knock in an extra run for the Panthers. So they do have a 2-run lead now in the middle of the 4th. Sorry, top of the 4th, not quite in the middle. But Indiana Brown doing very well. Plenty of strikes in there. Just the little half swings from the Jaguars is enough to put it in play and enough out of the way of the Manly fielders. Still only 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Manly looking for that all-important second out, and that's one way to work towards it is with the strike. So 1-1, and it's Sarah De Bono for the Jaguars. And a swing and miss. Nice good pitch on the inside corner from Indiana Brown. Put it in a spot that looked good enough to swing at. But just awkward enough where she couldn't make contact. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that pitch in for strike 3. So 2 outs now for the Eagles here as they look to get out of this top of the 4th and get into the bottom of the inning and score the very important 3 runs they need to win this ball game. That pitch just a little bit higher for ball 1. Casey Adams, the shortstop for the Jaguars. Ball lifted up and fouling out of play. And Vaughan running across to it, but can't quite get there. But it will be a strike. Against Casey Adams here. Indiana Brown looking for a very important 3rd out. Get her side into the batter's box for the last time this evening. And a swing and a miss, so strike 2. One more strike now needed by Brown. It'll be Manly's turn to win this at the death. In there for ball 2, so evens the count 2 and 2. Strike 3 called by umpire Simon Loud, and that's the exact pitch Indiana Brown wanted. That finishes the top of the 4th, and I believe it's going to be Olivia Baker, Serena DeGale, and Millie Atkinson due up for the Eagles in the bottom half of the inning to try and win this ball game at the death. We'll be back shortly with the bottom of the 4th inning. So it will be Serena the Gale to lead things off here in the bottom of the last inning. Olivia Baker was the last out of the third inning. So that's going to be Serena to Gale. 2 for 2 tonight with an RBI. She'll be looking to keep her perfect record for the night with a lead-off single here. That pitch is up for ball 2, so a good start here for Serena to Gale. 2 balls and no strikes. And that's in for strike 1 now. 2 balls and a strike for Serena to Gale. Three and 1 now for Serena to Gale. So Jodie Newton in their win against Greenway went 4 innings, giving up 5 earned runs on 4 hits, striking out 8 along the way. So can go deep into games, can Jodie. She'll be looking she can finish this one here when she gets strike 2 called in on Serena to Gale, which feels the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's in for ball 4, so just what the Manly Eagles would have wanted here in the bottom of the 4th. Early runners on base, and they've got that in the way of Serena to Gale. It's going to give Manly the opportunity to send the tying run to the plate in the form of Millie Atkinson. See what manager Michael O'Neill does with Serena to Gale. And that first pitch is down and away. Good lead by De Gale over at first. A good job by the new catcher for the Jaguars. Caught us by surprise there. It's Kate Moon. So big job in the previous inning with her little single. And she did a good job there to keep that ball in front. That second pitch in there for strike 1. So 1 ball and a strike. Serena to Gale takes her secondary over at second, and again that ball just a little bit wide and in the dirt, but Kate Moon's up and over to it, and the count moves out to 2 balls and a strike for Millie Atkinson. Just checks in with the manager Michael O'Neill over at third. It's reassurance that she's got the job to do here and she's the girl for the job. De Gale takes off and Millie Atkinson wears one right in the back. So Serena de Gale will move up to second base. She turned around and started to go back to first, but then realised that Millie Atkinson was hit by a pitch. So the tying run is aboard here for the Eagles. That's the potential go-ahead run in the form of Hannah Vaughan that stands at the plate. Should be looking to, at minimum, move Serena and Millie over into scoring position. And she's able to do that in a way with a swing and a miss on strike 1. The ball getting away from Kate Moon. And that does allow the 2 Manly base runners to move into scoring position. But Hannah Vaughan is behind no balls and 1 strike. And she bats here with none out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hannah Vaughan only has to find the ball, get the ball through the infield to score 1 run and maybe 2 in the form of Atkinson. And that ball just missing Hannah Vaughan there. Moved out of the way enough and it didn't hit up. Maybe could have stayed in its path but did the right job. Maybe her bat will prove the difference here. Pulls that one hard but foul. just a little bit early on it, and when I say a little bit, she was very early. Runs the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The good aggression there shown by the third game of the former softballer, making the transition into baseball this year. She just missed tying up this game on that pitch from Jodie Newton. Does trail now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll be looking to reverse things from a previous at-bat, which ended in a strikeout, and that ball's going to be down in the dirt. Not quite far enough for Serena de Gale to come in to score, but it will be ball 2 to Hannah Vaughan, and she evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You got Serena de Gale over at third, Millie Atkinson standing at second. 2 big important runs here for the Eagles. And Hannah Vaughan swings at the high ball. We've talked so much about the patience of the Manly hitters and leaving that high pitch alone. This time it just was too good to be true for Hannah Vaughan. She's down on strikes for the first out of this 4th and final inning. So Hayley Gledhill with that ball hit to third base. And a nice strong throw across the diamond for the second out. It is a run for the Eagles. They pull within 1, but it is 2 out. So everything happening here. Manly with 1 run in the form of de Gale. Now trailed by a single run. And Millie Atkinson sits 90 feet away, so she's a pass ball away from tying this game. Jodie Newton needs to be careful here, not to make it too hard for Kate Moon to catch. There behind the plate, it's Eva Endra-Kaputri. And she puts the ball on the ground to third base. It's going to be in between the pitcher and the shortstop, and he's going to see the tying run across the plate. That's a very good piece of hitting by the rookie there in Eva Kanaputri. Just soft enough that got in between the shortstop and the second base. Sorry, the shortstop and the pitcher. Unable to make a play on it were the 2 fielders, and Manly have come back and tied this game in the bottom of the 4th inning. I really hope I got this score right, because I'll be very silly if this isn't a tie game. So Eva takes off for second base, but it is a first pitch swinging by Hannah. Sorry, not by Hannah. It is the centre fielder, Amy Shepherd, and it's an error from the pitcher in Jodie Newton. Overthrowing first base is going to allow Eva to move all the way up to third base. The winning run now 90 feet away for the Eagles. Amy Shepherd standing at first. And it's going to be the hero from the 3rd inning in the form of Hannah Griffiths to bat here. 2 out. The winning run is on third base. And we have ourselves quite the finish. And that ball is lifted high into the air, but foul out of reach of the Penrith Jaguars third base. Good aggression shown by Hannah Griffiths. She's not afraid to swing the bat. She certainly showed that in her last at-bat. Really coming through for the Manly Eagles and head coach Mike O'Neill. As we just have time called here for the Penrith catcher to adjust her equipment. It's no balls and 1 strike for Hannah Griffiths. 2 out here, bottom of the 4th. Winning run, standing on third base. Amy Shepherd at first. And that pitch is away for ball 1. Nice secondary lead by Eva, but she does need to be careful she doesn't come too far down that line and get herself into trouble. So the 1-1 coming from Jodie Newton. Inside. And it gets away from the catcher. This could be your ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. And she does score the run. That looks like it should put Manly up by a run. I certainly have them with that score. Maybe not. We'll soon find out. Simon Lau's just going to come over and check. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. It looks like he's checking the count, so it is 2-1. I definitely have it as 11-10. Let's hope I'm not wrong. But Hannah Griffiths will bat now with Amy Shepherd standing at second with a very healthy lead. No interest from the defence of the Jaguars, and that is 3 balls and 1 strike now for Hannah Griffiths. Definitely want to be seeing her swing the bat here. 1 for 1 with 3 RBIs to her name so far tonight, and that pitch is in for strike 2. So, big pitch coming for both sides. Can Jodie Newton retire Hannah Griffiths? If it isn't in the favour of Manly, do Penrith still lead? And it is swung on a miss by Hannah Griffiths, so it is strike 3. It is the ball game. Doesn't seem to be much jubilation. I don't know what teams think they won it. I do have it as 11-10 in favour of Manly. Well, I'm going to run with what I've got here. I've got 11-10 in favour of Manly. I'll get official word from the scorers. If I'm wrong, I do apologise. But that was a very entertaining game. Very slow start for the Eagles, giving up a few runs early in that one. Kiara Gala just struggled to find the strike zone. Olivia Baker came on and did a great job. 2+ innings of work. Really threw the ball exactly where it needed to go. It did get hit by the Penrith side, but that's exactly what you want of your pitcher. Throw strikes, let it get hit. And if the defense makes the plays, good onto them. And then Indiana Brown coming into the death to shut down the Penrith side. Did give up a couple of runs, but it was the Manly offense that has won them the game, by my record anyway. It was a slow start in the first 2 innings, but they started to piece it together as Jodie Newton got tired. And a big 3-run double by Hannah Griffiths helped bring Manly all the way back. So as we wait final confirmation of this score, I do have it as 11-10 in the favour of the Eagles. I do apologise if that is the wrong score. But congratulations to both teams on what turned out to be a very entertaining game. Our first Women's League game covered here on EBSN here at Aquatic Ballpark. Thank you for tuning in. And we will be back in action here next Friday night. The Eagles with 3 straight games back-to-back. And it'll be the Eagles taking on the Greenway Giants. So the Greenway Giants, very strong in second grade. Always in the playoffs. They won a couple of back-to-back titles. So next Friday night will be more of the same. The Manly Eagles taking on Borkham Hills in the State League action. Under 18s tomorrow, 2 o'clock out at Northmead. And then Sunday from 9:30 kicking off with third grade. Second grade at noon and first grade at 2:30. But for now, it's the Manly Eagles 11, Penrith Jaguars 10 in second grade Women's League action here at Aquatic Ballpark. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Luke Eisenhower. Good night.